guys, Darzilla here. We are back for the Mortal Kombat video, and today we're not going to be playing MK1. We're doing something a little bit different. Today we're going to be talking about a very hot topic in the Mortal Kombat community, and that is the recent announcement of MK Legacy, a collection of the old games going from the 90s to the mid and early 2000s. Now, a lot of people are talking about what they want to see from this collection, and personally, I'm not here to talk about gameplay or the games I want, hashtag put in the 3D era, but besides from that, I want to talk about the accessibility features that could be possibly, in the game, because I'm pretty sure they mentioned that they're going to add quality of life changes to these games, and to me, that sort of screams that they're going to have some more accessibility features, because for anyone who hasn't played the old games obviously, well, they're old, so they have very little, if any accessibility features for people like me, people who are blind. And I just figured that they should definitely take this opportunity to add some great features to these games, these old games that they're remastering in a way. So I have some ideas here. For one, I think that they really need, and I think this is the most important, they really need a screen reader, a voice that, it's like a voiceover, sort of like what they have at MK1, where, it's like a main menu reader. That would be essential, I feel like, for new players who haven't played the game and who are blind. I feel like that is an essential piece to, honestly, any fighting game moving forward, produced by NetherRealm or not. That is just such a benefit that we have only had in one game, that being MK1. I feel like that should definitely change, and moving forward, I want to see that in the next game, both NRS and the new MK Legacy coming out. And this also mainly includes reading any kind of text on the screen. Like, for example, with the character endings that are at the end of every character ladder that you complete, every arcade, there you get an ending, and unlike the recent games, it doesn't have a voice talking over it or like the characters talking about their ending themselves. It actually has text that just reads out the character's bio, and I feel this is a perfect opportunity to implicate the screen reader feature into that, because we can't read it, obviously, as blind people, so I feel like it would be very essential to make sure that's a feature in this game. So pretty much with the screen reader, just have any text on the screen be read out. I feel like that would be a big improvement. Now, what I also want to see in the game is audio description. Now, this is basically a feature that's in MK1 already, where if there's a cinematic on screen, like for example a fatal blow or a fatality, there is a person narrating it in the background, describing what's happening. I feel like that would be very helpful for any sort of cutscenes in the older games. Like for example, the endings for MK4 are very movie-like. Not in their acting, because their acting's trash, as we all know.
Going somewhere, Jarek?
Jax! I thought you were going to...
Thought I was what? Dead? Like my partner you just tossed off the cliff?
I'm sorry, Jax. Please, don't drop me. Wait, I promise.
Too late, Jarek.
You can't drop me. You have to uphold the law. You have to arrest me. Wait, this is brutality. You can't do it.
Wrong, Jarek. This is not a brutality. This is a fatality.
At least in the way they're structured, they play out like a film. So I feel it'd be essential to have audio description there, describing what's going on. As well as for the fatalities, this is also something that MK1 does. Just have a simple voice come over and just describe what's happening in the fatality. It's very simple to do. I'm sure they can implement this, and it would not take that much effort. Now, of course, so far, everything I've said has applied mainly to the games that have been confirmed so far to be in the Legacy collection, with that being MK1, MK2, MK3, and MK4, as well as, a couple different versions, like MK Genesis, all the works, But there's also the possibility for there to be more games added, because as we all saw in the trailer, there were 4 question marks next to the game titles, and that could be anything. For me, I'm hoping that it's the 3D era, which is Deadly Alliance, Deception, Armageddon, and I want to talk about some accessibility features that they could possibly add if they decide to put those games in. One mainly being Conquest mode. And I don't mean Deadly Alliance Conquest mode, because that can be simply, done with the text-to-speech, which is something I already brought up in this video. But no, I am going to be talking about the Conquest mode from Deception and Armageddon. Now, if those of you who haven't played those games, and especially the conquest mode, it is in a way like a RPG, an open world RPG, very similar to that. So you can move around, interact with the environment, interact with the characters, and just do whatever you want pretty much, and follow a storyline. Now for me personally, I wondered how they can implement an accessibility feature for this, because admittedly it's pretty difficult, but then I thought of Invasions, and I know it's a very controversial topic since Invasions is a pretty hated game mode, but admittedly the accessibility features are very good there, because you can just press a button, you can press left, right, up, or down, and the character will just move in that direction. So what I was thinking that they can implement for Deception and Armageddon's Conquest mode is that we can maybe press a button, like the menu button, and it'll tell us if you go left, you'll hit a chest. If you go right, you'll hit, I don't know, maybe the next cutscene for the story. If you go up, you'll hit a fight, or whatever, Basically, it can tell you what direction is what, where it can go, and what it will lead you to. I feel like it's very difficult with how Deception and Armageddon's Conquest mode is designed to have an accessibility feature like this, but I feel that's the best that we can do, considering that, considering the way the game mode is designed. If we can have like an accessibility mode that we can turn on in the settings that would enable a kind of directional assist, I feel like that would be very, very beneficial for the blind community. One last thing that I want to mention, and this applies for all the games, and this is something that MK1 already did, and I feel like it was such a the definition of quality of life, and that is have to have screen reader already enabled in the settings when you enter the game. Basically, when I first booted up MK1, I didn't even know that the game had this kind of accessibility features. This was like, I think almost 2 years ago, like when the game first came out. I was shocked because narrator was already turned on, and I was like, wow, this is insane. You have the option to turn it off, of course, but they gave us that option right away. You don't need to, sit through the, narrator yapping on. So it was both convenient for people who could see, because they can just turn it off right away, and convenient for people who couldn't see, because, they had it on right away. They didn't need someone to turn it on for them. So I felt like that was done so well, and I feel like if all these games, whichever ones, both confirmed and not confirmed, have that feature, I think it'll be very beneficial to this game's accessibility features. But those are just my thoughts. If you have any other ideas, please let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to hear about it. Hey guys, Derzilla here. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!
The realms are mine.